Welcome to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment. And with me today is Bruce Holden, director from the Nye County Water District you're from Pahrump, right?
Pahrump, yes.
So we're going to be talking about, actually, there was an article in the Pahrump Valley Times last week. You may have seen it. If not, we'll go over that, talking about going critical, the water resources likely to go critical between 2055 and 2060. Well, I don't think I'm going to be around by then, but tell us what that entails.
Well, there's a whole bunch of basins, water basins in the state of Nevada, and the Nevada State Engineer does an assessment of each water basin and determines what's the natural recharge into that basin. And so for the Pahrump Basin, the state engineer's estimate is 20,000 acre feet per year. So once you reach consumption of whatever the recharge rate is, then you're in critical management. And it basically means your water table is going to be dropping and you're going to be out of water at some point in the near future.
Now, 20,000 is the number they've used for a number of years, too.
They did have it lower before, but they did a reassessment and they bumped it up to 20,000.
Okay. So how bad are we right now?
The last few years, we've been pumping somewhere around 13,000 acre feet, which actually is down from what it was many, many years ago when there was cotton growing in the Pahrump Valley. There was much more water pumped in those days than there are now. So it's we're in good shape today. As a whole, we're not necessarily in good shape for distribution because we have parts of the Pahrump Valley where there is an excessive number of wells in a small area, and in certain portions of the valley, there's significantly being over-pumped right now. But in general, we're okay, but it's the water being taken out of the basin is not, it's concentrated in certain areas, and so there's localized problem areas.
So you have the numbers for that. I have the numbers with that also. I'm with the Southern Nye County Conservation District. I know where to find that. The unlucky numbers are almost a foot a year I've been dropping with my water level where I live. And that's been told to me since 2004 by Tom Bucco when he was still alive, the hydrogeologist. So it's been almost a foot a year we've been dropping. And what they're doing nowadays also, when you come to live here, they're drilling the wells a little bit lower, down a little bit farther now also.
Right. People that live in those areas that are being severely overpumped, every few years they're going to have to drill their well deeper, and obviously at some point the wells would be so deep that it wouldn't be economical to pump, and at that point you're in deep doo-doo.
So some wells are easier than others. Some wells are wider in diameter, and you could put like a sleeve on the inside and go down farther. My well is 6.62 millimeters. Mine's the thinnest you can get, the smallest. So you would have to drill a whole new well if mine dries up.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yes.
Sure.
I've been told that. Those are good words a long time ago. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to that, but I am looking at how many people are moving in close to me also, and the amount of water that they're going to be taking. Now, a standard home doesn't take that much water.
Well, there's two measurements. There's people on a well because they're not paying per gallon. The average well user for a home in the valley It's about a half an acre foot a year. And if you're on one of there's three commercial water systems in the valley, and people that have a home that are served by one of those water systems, it's about a third of an acre foot that's used. And just because you're paying per gallon, so people tend to, be better for conservation, and also the people on the water systems tend to have smaller properties, so they don't have the ability to water as much ground.
I do remember a comment made by Tim Hafen he's got a water company, and his area that he built with people who live there, he had a lot of senior citizens, and he was surprised. He says they used hardly any water. They used a lot less than he thought they were going to use, so he was surprised at the time about the smaller amount of water, because you said they only use a third of an acre.
Yes.
Yeah, to my half an acre. So, because I'm on a well, not on city water, as they would say. So anyway, that's where we sit there. How about the water rights? What are we doing with the water rights?
Well, right now, the Pahrump Basin is over-appropriated, greatly over-appropriated. There's over 50,000 acre feet of water rights, and the maximum that can be used is 20,000 acres. So there's over 30,000 acre feet of water rights that are on paper but are not reality. They could never pump 50,000 acre feet a year. So at critical management, when you get to the point where we're using close to 20,000 acre feet, at that point, the state engineer will probably have to cancel a lot of water rights when we reach that point. The water rights, if they're not used, they can disappear. So the number of water rights does go down a tiny amount every year, and the water district, we want to see programs to try and get this water rights and water more closely in balance. But without having a huge budget to buy water rights, that's a tall order.
Right. So this has been a stumbling block for many years that the 25 years I've lived here, I've listened to this problem, and we haven't come to a conclusion yet. We're hoping by environmentalists using less water, we hope to teach people to use less water. That's why I've been involved with Earth Day for 20 years in town, to teach everyone how to be more economical with the water and everything else that they use. So you're working with the state to limit the water that solar projects are going to be using from Clark County, because they're going to be siphoning out of our aquifer, right?
Well, about half the Pahrump Basin is in Clark County, and a small portion is in California. So if Clark County approves a solar project, during construction they use a lot of water. Once construction is over, they use some water, and it's been very hard to determine what that is. Nobody wants to say. But I have some experience with that, and if you have dirty solar panels, you can lose 10% of your production in a month.
Ah, okay.
So I'm sure they do wash occasionally, and the solar projects, the reason they're so unpopular in Nye County is that the last governor gave a property tax rebate for solar projects, so they don't pay a lot of property tax, and they don't have employees, and
they live in the area that bring back money to the area.
There's very little economic value to solar projects, as as they are right now. So, people don't like to see water used for something with such low economic value.
Someone's making the money off of it on the other end. They're not us. They're better off for it, and we aren't. We just lost our property that we can't recreate on or do other things.
Right. And it's also a factor that it's so hard to permit and build in California that
Yeah.
it's easier in Nevada. So most of the electricity is going to California.
Yes. So we'll build it here because it's cheaper. Basically, it's one of the reasons I'm living here too, because of the low taxes. I looked down a couple miles west in California. There's Stewart Valley, I think it is. There's some nice homes over there, but I didn't want to live there because that's California, and the tax structure is much higher over there. They would have taxed my pension and other things too, whereas state of Nevada doesn't. So this, we should be lucky that we have the people that are gambling in Nevada, because a lot of their money goes into the coffers for the taxes, and they help us, the regular people that don't gamble.
Yes.
Yes. So that's some of the things that you do and what we're here for, what you're here for. And did we have a website for them? Did you put that up there? We'll have one later that when we do the show. So we're just about out of time for this segment. We'll come back for another segment because we have a couple of things that we want to talk about here, and I don't want to forget about those things. So you and I, well, maybe not you, but we'll be at the Earth Day event too. You have a table and a chair over there. So that's April 20th. We'll talk about that at a different time. April 20th at the Community Center. So the Nye County Water District will be there, and you'll learn a little bit about what we're going to talk about in the next segment. So thank you, Bruce, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching, and don't go away. And welcome back to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host. We're here once again with Bruce Holden, Director with the Nye County Water District. We've been talking about nothing else, water. And I would like to talk about something that they have in place that started a month or two ago. And it's the Toilet Retrofit Repay Program Application Form number 1001. So do you have any information on that?
Well, we approved spending up to $10,000 to pay people that put in a new low flow toilet or to fix leaky toilets. And we hope that it's well received. So far, that seemed to be pretty well received. And it's something we'd like to make a continuous program, every year to replace old toilets that use a lot of water. Toilets are, as for a house, is probably just about the biggest water user you have. So if you have an old toilet that's using lots of water, obviously that's not a good thing. So this is a relatively, I guess, the low-hanging fruit to help improve our water use in the Pahrump Valley.
So let's say I have an older home. It's got one of those big square tanks. It's a large toilet that possibly that leaks a little bit. And I want to get a new toilet. What do I have to do?
Basically, you just apply. There's a form that's on our website that you fill out, and you apply for it, and then you have to have a receipts for purchasing the toilet, and if you had a plumber put it in, receipts for that, or if you do it yourself. I think they want you to do a before and after picture, and just fill it out and send it in, and you should get your rebate.
But that's only up to what, $100?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't get a real expensive uh,
Well, it's not going to,
plumber.
especially if you have a plumber, it's not going to pay for the whole
No,
thing.
no. So
It's
don't think
just,
that's going to happen.
it's just to encourage people to do this. You know, unfortunately, the water districts gets a $5 per parcel tax, and so
Yes.
our available funds are fairly low, and since we're not making a whole lot of new parcels, they're not going up every year, so you know we can't get really crazy with subsidies.
So that's at the Nye County Water District. So if you could look at that, you'll find it. It's fairly easy. If I found it, you could find it. So you can get up to $100 for a new commode, as they call it, or there's another word, but I don't want to say it. But a toilet. I want to get one with a bidet in it. My wife makes fun out of me because I have one bathroom with a bidet in it, and she still won't use it. That's mine. But anyway, so that's what the water district has, and that's going on right now. And there's no end date on there right here.
No, once all the money we appropriated $10,000 for it, once that's spent, then we'll have to have another vote if we want to approve more money to
Okay.
it. And I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
It's environmentally sound and safe. It's the best thing to do, especially if we're looking at running out of water from between 2055 and 2060. So it's for our best interest. And another thing that I found on your website, and also, excuse me, that I'm part of the Southern Nye County Conservation District, the Rural Community Assistance Corporation, which is a nonprofit organization. They are offering private well owners, you and me, free well assessments and water quality screening for nitrates. So it's called a free drinking water well assessment, and you can find that also on the website for the Nye County Water District. Just go through it and it'll be there. So the assessment includes on-site inspections of your well system to identify potential well vulnerabilities, identify potential well contamination sources near the well site, well construction inspection relative to state standards to note any potential concerns, water quality screening for nitrate, commonly associated with wastewater contamination, and completed well assessment report and with recommendations of possible needed repairs and water treatment options. They don't do the repairs, but they tell you what you need. So available in Nevada, 60 miles radius of Reno and Las Vegas. We're 60 miles away from that, so it works. You can't get out of that. We're only 40 miles, 45 miles. So to register for that, you could find the website on there. It's on this piece of paper. Just cut and paste. Or you can contact this. The only person that's available right now is Bridget Harris, who's in Reno. Her number's 775-300-3204. Don't tell her John sent you, because I just talked to her today. But anyway, and then you could fill out this form below that's here and mail it to this person in Sacramento, California. So that's the Rural Community Assistance Corporation. I just happened to stumble on that today. Also, the Southern Nye County Conservation District, for Earth Day, we will be doing water quality assessments. We're not gonna tell you if your well's good or not as far as the construction. We're just testing water quality from one of 3 testing companies in Las Vegas, and we have funding at the present. I can't tell you how many people can be funded, because we have to find out how many people are going to take advantage of this at Earth Day. This is where we're going to have this available. We're going to have the big map. We're going to be showing we're concerned about the floor of the valley, the water that's over there, the quality and the quantity over there around PV4, PV5, which are the two county wells that are on the bottom there. Well, PV3 is up there. I'm picturing in my own mind. But anyway, I happen to be right next to one of the wells, so I can see very clearly what's happening there. So we're going to be looking for people who are living close to the wells to find out the quality of their water also. So all you have to do is fill in your name, address, and email address. We'll contact you, find out when the people that do this for a living, they'll come on your property with your permission, and then take a sample, and they run it to Vegas, come back within an appropriate time, so it's legal and it's available to be tested properly, and they'll give us the testing results. So we're concerned about that, just as people are, because we've had some misinformation in the PV Times about nitrates in groundwater. It was printed as though it was down here, but actually it was in northern Nevada at the time that they had the issues with the nitrates. So we want to be in front of that before we have any more information that's bogus, so to speak. So that's what we're doing. That's going to be April 20th at the Community Center. Once again, Earth Day, Arbor Day, and there's a lot more things that you could see over there and do. There's anything else we want to cover for when is your next meeting? I see that was coming up too.
Yeah, our next meeting is in April at April 9th in the County Commissioners Chambers in Pahrump, or you could also, if you live in northern Nye County, you can go to the Commissioners Chambers in Tonopah. So they're connected. You can go to either one.
It's 10 a.m. That's 10 a.m. in the morning? Yes.
10 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday, April 9th.
So you have how many members on your board?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6?
There's 7 positions, and trying to get somebody from the northeast corner of Nye County is proven to be difficult because it's a long trip from there.
Yes. I know we have the same problem with the Southern Nye County Conservation District. Luckily, we have enough people from down in Pahrump. We have 2 from Beatty, but we still are lacking 1 from Amargosa. So we're supposed to have 7. We only have 6. So we appreciate what the problem you're going into also. So some of the things that you touch on over there in your meetings?
Basically, it has to do with trying to protect the water of Nye County. So in our jurisdictions, anything to do with water quality and availability. We have a pretty broad area of responsibility, and if it has to do with water, it's something we could look into. Obviously, the water companies, private water companies, are regulated by the Public Utilities Commission, so we don't get involved in anything like that. But anything else to do with water, it's pretty much in our area of responsibility.
So be like me, get on their website and go through it. And there's a bevy of information there that it will answer a lot of the questions you have. Or if you have any more questions, there are numbers that you can call to have your questions answered. So Bruce, thank you so much for spending some time with us and in telling us about the toilet rebate. And then we'll see you next week, hopefully. So I'm John Pawlak, and thanks for watching.